Hello, and welcome to the Cosmic Cadence Podcast. We are your host, Kate.
And I'm Geneva, and this is the podcast where we decode your favorite album, Cosmic Vibes, and the people that help bring them into the world. And we have a very special episode for you today. Kate, do you want to tell the people what we're doing?
We are on a legit road trip. This is, legitimately, we are in the car. We are stuck in a lot of traffic. We're traveling right now for a show. From New York, we're going to Boston. Very fun. But there's a lot of traffic. So, we are doing this hands-free. But, yeah, special road trip edition today.
Yes, we want to be very clear. We are being extremely safe while we record this episode. Both hands are on the wheel. I am the passenger princess. So
I am driving, but we are doing this, we promise, in a safe manner. My eyes are on the road. Both hands are on the wheel.
Yes, but our ears yes, will be on.
Our ears are open.
Ashlee Simpson's debut album, Autobiography. Just quickly before we get into it, this format will be a little different from our usual format. We'll be listening to this record in real time and discussing the songs as we go through, giving them star signs. And then at the end of the full play, we'll go through the album's proper chart as we typically do. But we thought it'd be fun to pick each individual song apart this time.
And yes, as we said, this is a road trip version, so we felt like it would be fun. You're technically in the car with us right now. The whole reason we picked this album today is that I believe it's the, 20th anniversary?
20, yeah.
But also, so, fun fact, I do love Ashlee Simpson. I definitely had an Ashlee Simpson phase back in the day. I loved Pieces of Me, and I think Lala was, right?
Lala, yeah.
Yeah, Lala is also on this album, Autobiography. But yeah, fun fact, I've actually never listened through the full album. I was a singles only girl for this one. But Ashlee Simpson was very influential, I would say, in my life at that point. I guess I don't know what year that was, but I feel like it was like 2004.
It was 2004. Right? It was prime time for reality TV on MTV. Ashlee's big sister, Jessica Simpson, had just finished, or I think was near the end of her reality series with MTV, Newlyweds. So of course, baby sis had to have her own, which I was obsessed with. I wanted to be Ashlee Simpson, getting to follow her along on her journey of going from this big celebrity's little sister to coming into her own as a musician herself was really awesome. You got to see everything from her, from signing her record deal to preparing for her first tour to shooting her first video. It was such a cool behind the scenes look, and you felt kind of like you were along the journey with her, which was really awesome. This record was such a vital record for me. I feel like the music you discover when you're first kind of becoming a teenager in those early years, your formative years, stick with you forever. And this is an album that, it's been a while. Unlike Kate, I have listened through it many times, but it's been a minute since I've revisited it. So I'm excited to go back and dive in on my favorites, because there's a lot of classic gems on here. Of course, Pieces of Me, number one in our hearts forever, but Autobiography is a good one. Blanking on the title, but there's another song in there that's I think living in the shadow or something along those lines, which is like little sister with a big sister who you're living in her shadows anthem. It's a great album, so I think we should get into it.
Well, I was gonna say too, wasn't during her reality show, she was dating Ryan Cabrera at the time, right?
So no, her and Ryan were friends on this series.
But he was on the show.
He was on the show, but she was dating this other guy first. He was like an actor an aspiring actor in Hollywood. And you got to see her go through that breakup, and then you got to see the transition of Ashlee and Ryan as friends to romantic partners. And now Ryan Cabrera is happily married to Alexa Bliss from the WWE. This is a road trip episode.
Yeah, Connecticut has a ton of potholes. Connecticut, what are you doing? Okay, yeah, but I was gonna say, so that's my thing. While I know all of Ashlee's classic hits, I, for whatever reason, never listened to full albums. I don't know why, but I would say more so as a like personality, if that makes sense. She was very influential, like I said, for me. Specifically, the Pieces of Me music video.
Yeah.
I was literally obsessed with that. I remember, wasn't she wearing like a tank top? It says like punk on it or something. I thought that was so cool. I loved her style. That's really when I was,
Yeah.
you're very, what's the word? Like a sponge at that age.
What did it for me was when she dyed her hair dark.
Yes.
She went from like the blonde to the dark hair, and I was like, I want to be like her. Like it was. Yeah.
I think that's why I liked it, because I always did have dark brown hair, and I was always kind of into more like of the rock genre. So when she kind of transitioned her look to that, I was just like, wow, I love her look. And definitely, yeah, I remember that was a phase. So I was probably like 14. That was definitely the start of my like Hot Topic era.
Yeah.
And I remember between, let's say, Hot Topic and PacSun, but she definitely influenced me to have like the black and hot pink was a huge combo. I got some hot pink shorts, I remember, back in the day. Early 2000s.
It's peak early 2000s. And something I just want to say, we won't get too into it today, but you bringing up her image is so important, because back in the day, to be an artist, you needed the full package, right? Yeah. And like what you looked like was so important, for better or worse. But like you saying, like it was iconic to you that she's sitting on like the cover in the video wearing a tank top that says punk across the chest. You know that was like a deliberate decision. That was like put together from a team and her to be like, we are driving home the fact that you are not your sister, you're not a pop girly, you are a rock girly, you're a punk girl, this is what you're gonna look like. And I just think that's lacking in today's, with not everyone, I won't generalize, but it is lacking in some of today's artists, where yes, the music is the most important thing, but that full package of artistry is sometimes just not there, where you put so much attention into one area and you neglect the other. But sometimes it's the combination of all of it that really makes it work and really makes it stand out. And I think that's something that Ashlee really did at the time. I love this album, and I love the album she did after this one. I think it was called Unapologetic or Unwritten. It was something with a U. It had Boyfriend on it. And there was LOVE.
Yeah, I love that song.
Which
classic,
so good.
Also a classic road trip song.
Classic road trip. So maybe we'll dive into that record at another time. But for today, it's all about Autobiography.
And I was going to say as well, not to go into this too much, we'll go into them, I'm sure, at a different time. But in this same era, I feel like, it was the time of, for me at least, like Avril Lavigne and Fifi Dobson, and they all kind of were like that. It's just, I don't know if I would be here without them, because they were kind of, the girls in the rock scene that you didn't always see that. But going back to your statement about Ashlee, having worked with artists as we have, I always say that of like you can get a sense of, not to say how well an artist will do, that's not exactly the concept, but I have noticed the artists that have a brand and know that brand and use that brand throughout, they tend to go farther than artists that don't know who they are, because you need that brand. Totally. I think that really goes with your point.
Shall we listen to the album? I think it's time. So the first song on the record, amazing opener, self-titled track, Autobiography, or not self-titled, album title track, Autobiography. It also was the theme song for the reality television show, and one of my all-time favorite songs ever.
We'll be right back.
Upon listening, I kind of went back and forth between a couple of sides.
Same.
But I think I landed on, ultimately, it feels like a Scorpio Girls anthem.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, well, I will say, because I've never listened to this album in full. I love it as an opener. I forgot how much I love the rasp of her voice. I know that was highly contested. It was kind of a love it or hate it thing. Yeah. But I think it's cool. I love the rasp. Okay, I also went through a couple signs, but I was getting more of like a Sagittarius vibe.
Interesting.
It's very fun. I think the thing throwing me off about Scorpio is they talk about being a big flirt, and I don't think Scorpios are big flirts.
We're not big flirts. However, so that line for me drew out Libra vibes.
Same. I was thinking Libra. That was the other one coming to mind.
And then the line about sometimes I get dark led me to like Capricorn vibes. But why I landed on Scorpio is because ultimately no one knows anything about us. We are a deeply secretive sign, and I think the whole like theme of if you want my autobiography, just ask me.
Yeah.
Because while we'll never volunteer the information, if you ask us, we are an open book. We are very, willing to tell what we're willing to share if approached in the right manner. And I think with Scorpios, there's a lot of assumptions. And with the line about I'm the biggest flirt, like I took that more like once I got past the Libra of it all, I brought it back to Scorpio in the sense that like overly sexualized stereotype of the Scorpio of like, oh my god, they love sex, they're so horny and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Where a lot of times people assume Scorpios are flirting with them because they are overly sexualized, I think. So that's how I kind of like turn that. It might be a stretch, but that's kind of how I spun that element to make like tie it into like the Scorpio lore, where like you're assuming these things about me, but really you don't know me. And I think deep down that is kind of that's what I got out of this song. Like when I was running around listening to this in my freshman year of high school, like that's kind of what was in my mind of like, you guys don't really know me, but you should, and you should ask me about my life instead of assuming things about my life.
Yeah. I can't contest with that. You have great points. As a fellow Scorpio, I definitely feel that that vibe of like, you don't know me. Like I want you to know me. And as we've talked about in another episode, that's partly on us because we like to, we need to trust you to tell you our life story.
Yeah.
Or talk about our feelings. But yeah, I think that's the part of being misunderstood. For me, I guess I was pulling the carefree attitude. That's what was giving me Sagittarius of its. I think I was going more musically on this one. Of the vibe of the music was kind of like fun and upbeat, and that carefreeness that Sagittarius can have. And I do think that they're one of the flirts of the zodiac signs.
They are definitely one of the flirtiest zodiac signs. So I, like, you wouldn't contest with me, you made some valid points on Sagittarius, so I can definitely see some. And they follow each other in the zodiac anyway, so
it's probably a cusp.
It's right at the cusp. Alright, so the second song is, I believe, the first single, Pieces of Me.
Yes it is. It is.
So let's dive into that. Alright, so Pieces of Me brought me to two signs.
Interesting.
But I'm gonna let you say your thoughts first.
Okay. Well, I say interesting because for me, I didn't have to think, and I have one sign and one sign only to say, which is Scorpio.
Interesting.
It is, yeah.
That was neither of the signs I was thinking about. Do continue.
Okay. So it makes sense, as we are both Scorpios, why we loved it so much back then and now. I was also going to say I had a download that while listening to that, I feel like this album overall is going to give me very Scorpio vibes. That's how I'm feeling thus far.
Yeah.
But as far as why I say Scorpio, I think that the line, she says, it feels like I can finally rest my head on something real. I like the way that feels. And talking about obviously how, the pieces of me, like I feel like this song gave me the vibes of when as a Scorpio you do find that person that you like and it turns to love, and it's that feeling of like I can finally trust them and I can show them who I am. Yeah, it just overall was giving me the vibes of like you're finally letting someone into your world as a Scorpio.
Interesting. And I will agree with you on the sense of, I think overall this album definitely has heavy Scorpio energy, just thinking about the songs that are to come and why this was like my comfort album back in the day.
And the album cover, I feel like her look is giving Scorpio.
Yeah. But the fact that you pulled Scorpio from this was interesting, because for me, the word pieces and the sense of having that other person that kind of completes you in a sense, because they know everything about you, was giving either Pisces or Gemini for me.
Okay, I could see those. Gemini, yeah, for sure.
And I leaned more towards Gemini than Pisces. I think with the Pisces, there were some like dream actualized elements that kind of like pulled Pisces, but then I think at its core it felt like more Gemini, especially with like the themes of communication, you know, like you listen when I'm speaking, like all of that, like you hear what I'm saying, all of that,
and like many faces.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this, without a doubt for me, is a Gemini's anthem. So the next song is Shadow, which, as we kind of alluded to earlier, was the song, even the video was all about her living in her big sister Jessica Simpson's shadow. And I think for anyone who's a younger sibling or a whatever person to someone that's a little more prominent than you, like, you could definitely relate to this song. So let's get into it. Alright, so Shadow, for me, gives heavy Capricorn energy.
Ooh, okay. Well, first I want to say, it's coming back to me. It's all coming back to me. I actually did know that song, and I remember back in the day, so maybe I have listened to this album and I just totally forgot, I don't know. But I do remember back in the day thinking about, like, I always had this sense when I listened to that, like, I connected to it emotionally in a way of, like, I felt bad of, like, she, you know, I assumed that she was talking about, like, living in Jessica Simpson's shadow. So I remember thinking about that and just being like, oh, that, like, I feel that's sad. But I was getting, I could see Capricorn for sure. I also was getting some Cancer vibes because, again, to me, I think I connect with the emotional element, and there's also a bit of moodiness, but I feel like our fellow Cancer friends, our water signs, you know, can kind of live in our shells.
Yeah.
But then I think that once we have a goal and we're very determined, we make that happen. So that's kind of the storyline I was getting of, like, okay, I've always been in your shadow, but now I'm going to do it. And look at me, I'm going to accomplish this goal.
Nice. So I think looking at it in similar ways, just with different elements, to me, it was giving the Capricorn's, like, hard work stereotype, and working to fix the family for the sake of what will make everybody feel good and make sure everyone's okay and happy at what's the phrase, at the detriment of themselves, almost. Like, I'm going through this, I feel awful, but I want you guys to be okay, and I will, like, be the one to take this burden on if it means you can live your dream and mom and dad can support you. I'll be over here in the corner sulking. Don't worry about me. I'll do the work to make sure I get to where I need to be, and also do the work to put our family back together. Like, that's the energy it was kind of giving for me.
Yes.
Which feels very Capricorn, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is all about structure and rules and traditions and all of that. And that, for whatever reason, is what resonated on that song for me. Very heavy song to get through.
Yeah, and that actually helps me with my explanation as well, because I think what you said about family, that's why on my end I was getting Cancer.
Yeah. Because
Cancers, obviously, they very much love home and they're very family oriented, so I think, that makes more sense for me as well.
So I think the only way to go is up. We're gonna get fun, because the next song is
it Lala? Yes, I love this one. Okay, I know this one. So, can we say our guess at the same time? Because I'm really hoping that you have the same as me.
Alright, dude, this is the test of our friendship. Are we ready? On two, on one, on 3, 2, 1? Okay.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Scorpio! Oh, come on! Okay, but we're like polar opposites.
We are we're kind of. I will say, there was a moment where I was getting Scorpio. especially when she says you hold my secrets tight. But the song is so loud and in your face and unapologetic. She's saying she wants it on the kitchen, on the floor. It's giving Leo.
Yeah, but okay, it's giving, I know we've talked about how the Scorpios, they have a rep, and this is giving me the gritty, sensual Scorpio of it all.
I respect it. I don't agree, but I respect it.
And I respect the Leo. I see where you're coming from with the musicality of it all, but for me, the overall theme of the song feels like a Scorpio theme song when you're feeling yourself.
Okay, so I just want to recap for everybody. So far, we've listened to Autobiography, Pieces of Me, Shadow, and Love. And Kate has given each of them Scorpio as their main sign.
I'm not biased, I swear.
I really cannot wait to see once we get into like the new territory for her if this continues on. Because she's not wrong. There's no right or wrong here. But if you give every single song on this album Scorpio, it will be hilarious.
I know. So, well, I can't wait. I need something to make me cry. I want to come back on here when we come back from listening to a song and be like, guys, I'm tearing right now.
It's coming.
Okay.
I think you're not there yet, but you will be crying by the end of this record.
That's what I want.
We are gonna get a little mellow, a tiny bit mellow in this next one. So next up we've got Love Makes the World Go Round. So my first question.
Yeah.
Is that a song you've never heard before?
Yeah, and I really liked it.
Okay, so I'll let you go first on this.
Okay. Well, I don't think this is my final answer. This feels like cheating, but I want to say Libra because love makes the world go round.
Hey, no, it's not cheating because I'm gonna say Libra as well.
Okay.
I almost pulled a U and said Scorpio, but
I almost did too.
But that last line of I say love makes the world go round.
Yeah.
Just put the whole song into scorned Libra perspective.
Yes.
Because Libras need love. Libras love love. If a Libra's brokenhearted, just stay out of their way. And I think that's what this song was giving for me, of very much like, you're telling me love makes the world go round. I was one of those people that said that, but I'm hurting right now. Someone broke my heart, so don't tell me that. And finding their way back to their natural selves of like believing in love and wanting to be in love and wanting others to be in love, you know? If that's not a Libra song, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I think we talked about it on our episode where we go into our own signs. Since we both have Libra in our big three, we did talk a bit about Libra. To me, it's almost a moment of, since Libras can be people pleasers and they get value from their relationships, and there's validation that comes with that. It's almost that moment of they're going through a breakup and it's like, where do I get that validation from?
Yeah. Are we ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. Better Off. I'm just going to say my guess. Or not even my guess. I'm just going to say my thoughts. It's an Aquarius. The sky is falling, but it's okay. It's like that unbothered, unmovable, unrufflable, unruffled, featherable element that Aquarius has. Just calm, cool, collected, no matter what's going on.
I was laughing to myself during the song because I really wanted to say Scorpio again. Because she talks about being misunderstood. And I was like, you know what? I feel that. But
Aquarius is Aquarii? Aquarius is from here on out, multiple Aquarius equals an Aquarii. Aquarii are similar to us in that they are also misunderstood.
Yes.
It's so easy to call them the alien, the weird one, the different one, but they're just like us. As an Aquarius rising, we just want to be loved like everyone else.
Yeah. Well, okay, I will say, after I was laughing to myself about Scorpio, part of me wanted to say Earth just because I was like, okay, we haven't talked about Earth that much. But then next I was like, no, but like legit, I was thinking about air signs. Gemini came up for some reason, but now that you say all of this, I think Aquarius is the proper air sign, and we are on the road. And now that you said that, I do think that Aquarius is the proper air sign, and I would like to say Aquarius is also our fellow fixed sign, and I was getting a lot of, well, not a lot, but a bit of stubbornness in the song.
Yes.
So
I'm better off.
Sense. Yes.
The sky is falling, I don't care, and I'm better off without you.
Yeah.
In every way.
Yeah, I almost wanted to say Taurus. I think that's when I was going to say Earth, I was about to say Taurus, because kind of getting that, that stubbornness. But like the bull, a bull was coming to mind.
Yeah. I could see Taurus as well. Yeah. Definitely a fixed sign. You got your Scorpio in there. You got your Taurus.
Is Taurus fixed? Yeah, Taurus is fixed as well.
Fixed.
Okay, so this is a fixed song for sure.
Yes. Alright, so next up we've got Love Me for Me. I can't believe I forgot how hard that one hits. And I'm assuming that's the first time you've ever heard it. So I would love to get your thoughts first.
I also love that song. One of my favorites thus far that I haven't already known. Everyone's gonna hate me, but I want to say Scorpio again, because is there not a line in the song where she's talking about her heart and she says it needs a little earthquake? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Sometimes I give my heart a little earthquake. Yes.
And it gives me major transformation vibes, which is majorly Scorpio. And the part, again, I might be a little biased here, but it was giving me I'm not the girl you want to leave. Was that the lyric?
Yes. I'm not the kind of girl you want to leave.
It's giving me, again, kind of what we talked about in the last song, the stubbornness. And as Scorpios, I feel like, and we'll talk about this in other episodes, but if someone breaks up with a Scorpio, they usually are like, well, you're not going to find better. That's what I was getting.
Okay, so there's only one answer for me, and that's a freaking Pisces. This is
water sign.
A Pisces anthem if I have ever heard. Everything from, all the lines you called out, I was getting Pisces. That, quick to cut you off, you wronged me, we're done forever. That not even wishy-washy, that, hot to cold in the matter of 2 seconds of a Pisces is this song. But also at the same time, I still want you to love me for me. Take me as I am, flaws and all, delusions and all. You know what I mean? No matter what, there's no right or wrong. We say that all the time because it's true. There will be balance. The Libras in both of us crave balance. Yeah. So every song can be Scorpio for you. I will do my due diligence to show love to the other signs. But this song, I loved it. And I can't believe I was trying to remember how it went before we listened to it. And as soon as it kicked in, I was like, oh yeah, this one. But those, the lyrics, as soon as the lyrics came in, I was like, I have no other guesses. This is a Pisces song. No ifs, ands, or buts in my mind.
Yes, we have more songs to go through, so maybe I won't say Scorpio again. We'll find out. But at least we had our fellow water signs. But yeah, I'm excited to see what else is on this album.
Alright, next up, Surrender. Surrender. Thoughts?
Guess what? I have a guess that's not Scorpio.
For the first time ever. Hit me.
Okay, I was getting, I was trying to think through, what signs are bright and bubbly and warm. So Libra comes to mind, but I want to say Leo, because this is giving me, you're bringing my mood down, and let me shine, and that very much is a Leo of I feel just powering through, having the bright positivity, the sun line really got me there, because I feel like Leos have a very warm personality.
So for me, also fire sign energy, but I was thinking more Sagittarius.
I can see that.
Because I think in the same vein, they're another one where it's don't bring me down, don't ruin my mood, kind of thing. But also, if I'm having a bad day, then you're having a bad day too.
I think, fire energy for sure.
Definitely. So now we're kind of rounding out the album. We're getting to the last final couple songs, or final few songs. Up next, we have Unreachable.
Okay. I know I'm banned from saying Scorpio at this point, but that song gives me heavy water energy. But I would say Cancer. There was this line in particular, "This love doesn't feel right."
Yeah.
And it was giving me very much like this person feels it in their bones of like, I really love you, but it just like maybe the relationship is fine on the surface, but like something doesn't feel right, you know.
Right.
And I think that us water signs are very attuned to that. And obviously it talks about crying a lot, so you know it's giving me emotions.
Yeah.
So that is why I say a water sign.
I would have forgiven you if you said Scorpio for this one, because I felt very heavy Scorpio vibes. But
I was out of my Scorpio card.
It's very Cancer. It's very Cancer. I think for me that'll be my statement on the song. It's a Cancer song. It's very emotional. It's very much into that like first sign of trouble, I'm out.
Yeah.
That the crabs kind of carry with them. Yeah, I don't think there's anything more to say on that one. We agree on one.
We're in agreement.
All right, let's see what we have up next. Okay, so up next we have Nothing New. I want to try this again. On the count of 3.
Okay, I don't know. I have a couple guesses, but we can try.
1,
We can try.
2, 3.
Aries.
Yes! Yes, we did it. We did it. Okay.
Yes, okay. I had moments of Aquarius and of course Scorpio, but in the heart of it, this song was so fiery and it's very bold, in your face. Like I am who I am. Yeah.
Unapologetic. The opening line of like, I find myself at home again, wondering what it is I should have said. It's like, Aries, speak first and think like tomorrow. You know? And I just feel like that song embodies that energy so much.
Mm-hmm.
And even the title, like Nothing New, Aries, the baby of the zodiac, the first sign in the zodiac year, like it's like a perfect representation of what it means to be an Aries, you know. And that is all I'm gonna say before I get myself in trouble.
I really like that one though. That was a banger. That was a fun song.
Definitely a fun one. All right, we've got 2 songs left. The next song is called Giving It All Away. So, assuming that's the first time you heard that one,
Yes.
what are your thoughts?
I'm torn. That one actually is one of the harder ones thus far for me
Okay.
to guess. Okay, maybe I can say what my vibe of the song is, and I'll talk in real time of how I'm getting to the sign.
Okay.
But I'm getting the vibe of like you're doing a lot for other people, you know, and giving that away. So that's why part of me gets like Capricorn vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing my Capricorn moon, it's like you're almost giving your energy away to other people.
Yeah.
It's like one way I'm interpreting it. The other thing though was I was getting a bit of Libra, because there was a line where it said something about you get the attention and then you give it away.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, as we've talked about, Libras can be people pleasers, so it's almost like, yes, I got that validation, but now I'm going to put it back on everyone else because like I want to make them feel liked, or you know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah. So for me, I took it like from the perspective of the speaker, right?
That's
or Ashlee's role.
Yeah.
I took it as a Taurus, kind of like looking back and kind of judging it. Mind you, let me preface this by saying I took it as a very stereotypical Taurus of like watching other people not value things, whereas Taurus values material items, beauty, luxury, all of that kind of stuff. And you're watching other people just like give things away, not really care, not take in the value or the worth of it. That's kind of the spin that I took on it to get to the Taurus energy of the song for me.
That makes sense. And that's why this one was the toughest one thus far for me. Talking about someone else, so it's hard to,
Yeah. Until the end, like she does say, I'm just giving it all away. But even in that, it's kind of like Taurus, like I'm spilling the tea, I'm giving it all away. My inner thoughts, my judgments, I'm letting you know what those are. The last song on this album, it's called Undiscovered. It's always one of my favorite songs. I can't wait for you to hear it for the first time. You said you want to cry. Here is your crying moment. Let's go. Autobiography by Ashlee Simpson, from start to finish. Closer, undiscovered. I see a little a little bit of a little tear, a little inkling.
I will say it did hit. It's only fair that my last guess is a Scorpio. Okay, the bridge is what got me. I love the first line. I mean, because I don't remember if we talked about it or not yet, but like Scorpios hate fakeness, like, and we can sense it a mile away. So that definitely stuck out to me. But also the part of like the title of the song, Undiscovered. Obviously, the chorus deals a lot with that. I was getting like how Scorpio can be obsessive, and I guess like, you know, if a relationship ends and you're left to like kind of sit and wondering like, well, what if, you know? That's kind of what I was getting.
And not letting go. Mm-hmm. Okay, so since this is the last song, I will let you have your Scorpio take. But for me, continuing on this journey that I have set for myself, there's only one sign left, and it's very fitting for this. Virgo. Mm-hmm. It's the unofficial Scorpio sister sign.
That makes sense, yeah.
We share kind of a symbol, you know. One goes this way, the other goes that way. But for all the reasons that you kind of gave for why you thought it was Scorpio, I see those reasons as well, but in the Virgo sense. Mm-hmm. The one thing I'll say is I feel like Virgos hate fakeness as well, but they are way better at it than we are, of like faking.
I was gonna say
being able to like they can do it. They say they hate it, but they do it so well.
Yes.
And I think, you know, much like you said with the titles, there's a lot to be discovered about Virgos. You know, so that is my take. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, overall though, I definitely don't remember all of those songs, so definitely first time listening through the full thing. And it makes me miss the early 2000s.
Definitely. I want to run to a PacSun right now and get a bolero, a skinny tank top, and like the lowest rise jeans I can find.
Puka necklace.
Puka necklace, yes. Oh, what were the shoes? Etnies?
I think they're coming back, actually. Did you
really?
see that? Yeah.
I did not. So one thing that I have taken on in my adulthood is trying to make up for the things that I either didn't have or couldn't have growing up. And Etnies were always a shoe I always wanted, but like was never allowed to get.
They were so wide.
They were so wide.
Why are they so wide?
Because they're skate shoes, dude. They look awesome. I want a pair. So if they're making a comeback, I will be the first in line for a pair of Etnies.
Yeah.
Like the black and pink ones.
Uh-huh. I saw an ad recently that I think it's PacSun actually. They're coming back.
All right.
I might want to buy myself something hot pink. I think that's that's where I'm going. Or just Hot Topic. I haven't stepped into a Hot Topic in a minute.
That's true. Maybe we'll make a pit stop on this road trip of ours.
Yeah.
I think to close out this episode, I'm just going to read through what the big three are for this album.
Wait, I will. We all know. I have my. I'm not going to go into explanations, but I'll say my guesses.
Go ahead.
You already know my son guesses. Obviously it's not a Scorpio because I know that the anniversary is like right now. But water sign, we are in Cancer season, so I'll say Scorpio. I know it's not Scorpio, but hold it to it. My rising sign would have been Cancer, so perhaps they are swapped. And moon sign, I think I would say Aries.
So I'll say you're kind of in the family. But as you know, the anniversary confirmed is today. So what a way to celebrate. Happy 20 years, Ashlee Simpson, on your debut album, Autobiography. We love you. We love your album. Once we finish talking about it, we're going to go back and just listen to it again and just rock out because there's so many jams. But it is, in fact, a sun in Cancer, which definitely is explained in all of the emotions that you go through on this album and the heavy Scorpio vibes that you were picking up as far as like being able to relate to it. I think that's from the Cancer sun.
Yeah.
The moon is in Leo.
Okay, that would have been my second guess.
Yeah. The moon is in Leo, which is exciting because I feel like there's an energy throughout this album that kind of counterbalances the emotion, where she's singing some deep lyrics, but you're dancing and you're grooving along to it. And that's kind of my favorite genre, if you will, of like sad songs you can move your butt to, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely very fiery, and there's a lot of in-your-face, like gritty guitars on this album.
Yeah. And then the Ascendant is in Aries, which I will say,
it was a half and half album.
It's a half and half album. I think the Aries Ascendant, I think, could also be why we're picking up so much like Scorpio energy, because Scorpio is often mistaken as a fire sign.
Yeah.
But I think the Aries Ascendant is adding to that energy and that in your face, like unapologetic, this is who I am kind of vibe that this album ultimately gives off. So I think that brings us to a close on this on the road edition of the podcast. So if you made it this far, one, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you tune in to our next episode, which maybe we'll be back in our usual recording spot. Maybe we'll be on the road again. If you like this kind of episode, let us know in our comments on our socials. All the information on that in the bio. Find it. We're out there. We're on everything.
Thanks for coming on our road trip with us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.